If you keep reaching for that cheap steak or the salty slice of deli ham, you might be unknowingly carving away the years you have left to enjoy. Imagine 4 everyday meats working silently in the background, fueling chronic inflammation, spiking your blood sugar, and accelerating the loss of muscle you already battle after 60. What if I told you that simply removing those 4 foods could add vibrant, energetic decades to your life? Stay with me for the next 15 minutes and I'll reveal the 4 dangerous meats you must never touch again, and the 4 power-packed proteins you should be eating every single day to thrive after 60. I'm Dr. Maya Alvarez, a nutrition researcher with 20 years studying aging bodies. Over the past 2 decades, I've helped thousands of seniors rewrite their health stories, turning fatigue into fitness and confusion into confidence. The modern diet is flooded with convenience meats that look harmless but are loaded with sodium, nitrates, and hidden saturated fats. For a body that's already losing muscle mass, that's a perfect storm. Fortunately, science gives us a clear roadmap. Eliminate the toxins, replace them with nutrient-dense allies, and you'll see lower inflammation, steadier glucose, and more energy for the things you love. We'll first expose the 4 meats you must ban, then dive into the 4 you should welcome daily, and finally give you a practical senior-friendly meal plan you can start tonight. Let's pull back the curtain on the meats that are silently damaging senior bodies. First, processed deli ham and salami. Those thin slices look innocent, but they are packed with nitrates, high levels of sodium, and a type of saturated fat called palmitic acid. Nitrates convert in the gut to nitrosamines, compounds strongly linked to oxidative stress and inflammation. For someone over 60, that extra oxidative burden can accelerate arterial stiffness and impair muscle recovery. The practical step: swap any processed cold cuts for freshly roasted turkey breast or a lean cut of grass-fed chicken. Aim for no more than 1 ounce per day and always read the label for no added nitrates and low sodium. Have you ever checked the back of your ham package lately? Second, the classic bacon strip. Yes, its aroma is tempting, but bacon is a heavyweight in the world of advanced glycation end products, or AGEs. Those are molecules that form when proteins or fats combine with sugars during high heat cooking. AGEs lodge in connective tissue, making joints stiff and accelerating the loss of elasticity in blood vessels. For older adults, that translates to higher blood pressure and reduced mobility. The solution isn't to give up flavor entirely. Instead, choose nitrate-free turkey bacon, grill it at a moderate temperature, and limit consumption to 2 slices a week. Does that sound doable for your next breakfast? Third, the ever-popular beef jerky. While it seems like a convenient protein snack, many jerky products are cured with sugar, soy sauce, and artificial preservatives. The hidden sugars cause rapid spikes in blood glucose, which over time can impair insulin sensitivity, a key factor in type 2 diabetes risk for seniors. Moreover, the high sodium content strains kidney function, already vulnerable after 60. Opt for homemade jerky made from lean venison or bison, seasoned with herbs and a dash of sea salt, and keep portions to a 1/4 cup per day. Have you ever tried making your own jerky at home? Fourth, cheap ground beef with a high fat ratio, often labeled as 80% lean. That extra 20% fat is mostly saturated, raising low-density lipoprotein cholesterol, which clogs arteries and raises the risk of heart disease. In older adults, even modest increases in LDL can tip the balance toward atherosclerosis. Choose ground turkey or chicken that is at least 90% lean, or better yet, ground lamb that has a healthier fatty acid profile, and limit servings to 3 ounces, cooked 3 times a week. What would you replace that ground beef with in your favorite stew? Now that we've identified the culprits, let's turn the page to the heroes. 4 meats that can become daily allies in your quest for longevity. First, wild-caught salmon, rich in omega-3 fatty acids, EPA, and DHA. Salmon reduces systemic inflammation, supports brain health, and improves heart rhythm. A single 3-ounce serving delivers enough omega-3 to lower the inflammatory marker C-reactive protein by almost 10% in just a few weeks. Incorporate it twice a week, baked or grilled, and drizzle with lemon for extra antioxidant boost. How does a salmon dinner sound for your next family gathering? Second, skinless chicken breast, especially when sourced from pasture-raised birds. It supplies high-quality, complete protein with minimal saturated fat, essential for preserving lean muscle mass or sarcopenia that naturally declines after 60. Pair it with a side of steamed broccoli and quinoa for a balanced meal that stabilizes blood sugar and fuels muscle repair. Aim for a palm-sized portion each day. Have you considered chicken as your go-to protein? Third, grass-fed lean beef, like a ribeye trimmed of excess fat. While we warned against high-fat ground beef, a well-marbled cut from grass-fed cattle offers a better ratio of omega-3 to omega-6 fats, plus conjugated linoleic acid, a natural compound that may improve insulin sensitivity. 1 3-ounce steak once or twice a week provides iron, zinc, and vitamin B12, nutrients critical for energy production and immune function in older adults. Cook it to medium rare to preserve those nutrients and enjoy the taste of true quality. Does a grass-fed steak sound like a treat you'd savor? Fourth, shellfish such as shrimp and mussels. These tiny powerhouses deliver a punch of lean protein, selenium, and iodine minerals that support thyroid health and antioxidant defenses. A half cup of mussels can supply more zinc than a beef patty, helping wound healing and immune response. Include them twice a week, steamed with garlic and a splash of white wine, and you'll notice a subtle boost in vitality. Have you tried mussels in a light broth before? By swapping the 4 dangerous meats for these 4 nutrient-dense options, you're not just cutting calories or fat, you're reprogramming your body's inflammatory pathways, stabilizing glucose, and preserving muscle. The science is clear, diet is the most powerful lever we have after 60. If this is opening your eyes, smash that like button and let's keep exploring together. In the next segment, we'll build a simple senior-friendly meal plan that strings these foods together into 3 delicious meals a day so you can start seeing results tonight. Stay tuned and remember, your plate is the first line of defense for a longer, healthier life. The next step is to translate the science into a plan. You can walk into the kitchen tonight without a grocery list that feels like a research paper. Imagine a day where each bite is deliberately chosen to quiet inflammation, keep blood sugar steady, and feed the muscle fibers that keep you strong enough to chase grandchildren or tend a garden. Let's walk through a full day from the first light to the calm of evening and see how the 4 power proteins fit naturally into each meal. We begin with breakfast because the morning sets the metabolic tone for the hours that follow. A plate that combines lean poultry, whole grains, and a splash of healthy fat does 3 things at once. It supplies high-quality amino acids to halt the overnight catabolism of muscle. It offers complex carbohydrates that release glucose slowly, and it introduces antioxidants that protect the cells that have been working through the night. Picture a serving of scrambled eggs made with 2 eggs, one of which is a free-range egg rich in omega-3, folded gently with a handful of fresh spinach and a few diced tomatoes. Add a slice of toasted whole grain bread, lightly brushed with extra virgin olive oil and a side of sliced avocado, about half an avocado to provide monounsaturated fat that helps the body absorb the fat, soluble vitamins in the vegetables. Finish with a cup of herbal tea, perhaps rooibos or green tea, which supplies polyphenols that further dampen oxidative stress. This combination delivers roughly a palm-sized portion of protein, a fist-sized serving of whole grains, and enough healthy fat to keep you satiated until lunch. Notice how the protein from the eggs and the avocado's healthy fat work together to smooth the rise of insulin after the bread. Does this breakfast feel like a gentle yet powerful start to your day? Now move to mid-morning, when a tiny snack can prevent the dreaded energy dip that often leads seniors to reach for sugary crackers or processed cheese. A small handful of raw almonds, about 1 ounce, paired with a few slices of fresh cucumber, offers a blend of protein, fiber, and magnesium. The almonds contribute a modest amount of plant-based protein and heart-healthy fat, while the cucumber adds hydration and a crisp texture that keeps the mind focused. If you prefer something warm, a cup of miso soup with a few cubes of silken tofu provides a comforting dose of protein and a touch of sodium that can help maintain electrolyte balance without the excess of processed salts. Which of these quick options would you reach for when the afternoon lull arrives? Lunch is the centerpiece of the day, and it's the perfect moment to feature a serving of the lean fish or shellfish that we highlighted earlier. Imagine a fillet of wild caught salmon, about 3 ounces, pan-seared with a drizzle of lemon juice and a sprinkle of fresh dill. Salmon's omega-3 fatty acids are renowned for reducing inflammatory markers and supporting cardiovascular health, both critical concerns after 60. Place the salmon atop a bed of mixed greens, arugula, baby kale, and watercress, tossed with a vinaigrette made from apple cider vinegar, a teaspoon of honey, and a dash of mustard. Add a side of quinoa, about half a cup, which supplies a complete protein profile and fiber that further moderates glucose spikes. To round out the plate, include a serving of roasted Brussels sprouts tossed lightly in olive oil and roasted until caramelized. This lunch delivers a balanced trio of protein, complex carbohydrate, and vegetables, each contributing antioxidants, vitamins, and minerals that support immune function and bone health. Notice how the omega-3 from the salmon works synergistically with the antioxidant-rich greens to protect cells from oxidative damage. Can you picture yourself savoring this colorful bowl while you read a favorite book or enjoy a brief walk? Afternoon cravings often lead to choices that reintroduce the very foods we advised against. To stay on track, consider a modest snack that still offers protein without the hidden sodium of processed meats. A small cup of Greek yogurt, plain and unsweetened, mixed with a tablespoon of ground flaxseed and a handful of fresh berries, supplies probiotics for gut health, protein for muscle maintenance, and fiber that continues to smooth blood sugar levels. If dairy isn't your preference, a cup of cottage cheese paired with sliced peach provides a similar profile of protein and calcium. These snacks are easy to prepare, portable, and keep you feeling full until dinner. Which of these protein-rich snacks feels most appealing to you when the afternoon hour rolls in? Dinner is the final opportunity to cement the day's nutritional foundation, and it's where the grass-fed lean beef we discussed can shine. Think of a 3-ounce portion of grass-fed sirloin, gently grilled to a medium rare finish, seasoned simply with sea salt, cracked black pepper, and a sprig of rosemary. The lean cut supplies iron and zinc essential for energy production and immune resilience, while the lower saturated fat content compared to conventional beef reduces the burden on the cardiovascular system. Pair the steak with a medley of roasted root vegetables, sweet potatoes, carrots, and parsnips, cut into bite-sized pieces, tossed in a teaspoon of olive oil, and roasted until tender. The natural sweetness of the vegetables offers a source of complex carbohydrate that, when consumed with protein and fat, leads to a slower, more controlled release of glucose. Add a side of steamed green beans, lightly seasoned with garlic, to boost fiber and provide vitamin K, which plays a role in bone health. Finish the meal with a cup of warm chamomile tea, which can aid digestion and promote restful sleep, a crucial factor in muscle recovery and hormonal balance. Does this dinner feel like a satisfying close to a day of mindful eating? Beyond the 3 main meals and 2 snacks, hydration is the silent partner that ensures every cellular process runs smoothly. Aim for a total fluid intake that includes water, herbal teas, and the occasional low-sugar fruit infusion. A simple way to monitor is to keep a glass of water within arm's reach at each sitting area and to sip regularly, especially after physical activity or before bedtime. Remember, dehydration can masquerade as fatigue, which might tempt you to reach for quick carb comfort foods. How does your current water habit compare to this gentle reminder? Now that the day's menu is mapped out, let's address a common concern, the fear that preparing these meals is too time-consuming or complicated. The truth is that many of the components can be prepared in batches. For instance, grill a larger portion of salmon or chicken on the weekend, portion it into airtight containers, and simply reheat for lunches throughout the week. Cook a big pot of quinoa or brown rice, store it in the fridge, and scoop out servings as needed. Pre-wash and chop vegetables, storing them in sealed bags to keep them crisp. Even the nuts and seeds for snacks can be portioned into small Ziploc bags, ready to grab on the go. By front-loading a few minutes on a less busy day, you free up precious time for relaxation, hobbies, or social visits during the week. Which batch prep strategy feels most doable for your routine? It's also worth noting that taste and enjoyment remain central to a sustainable diet. Flavor can be amplified without relying on excess sodium or processed sauces. Fresh herbs, basil, cilantro, thyme add brightness, citrus zest, or a splash of vinegar. Introduces acidity that balances richness. Spices like turmeric, cumin, and smoked paprika provide depth without added calories. Experiment with these natural enhancers and you'll discover that meals become more satisfying, reducing the urge to seek out processed alternatives. Have you tried swapping a salty condiment for a herb-based drizzle recently? Let's take a moment to recap the core principles that tie the entire plan together. First, prioritize protein sources that are lean, minimally processed, and rich in micronutrients. Think poultry, fish, shellfish, grass-fed beef, and plant-based options like Greek yogurt and cottage cheese. Second, pair protein with fiber, dense vegetables, and whole grains to moderate glucose response and support gut health. Third, incorporate healthy fats from sources such as olive oil, avocado, nuts, and fatty fish to aid nutrient absorption and reduce inflammation. Fourth, stay hydrated and use herbs and spices to elevate flavor without excess sodium or sugar. By consistently applying these four pillars, you create a dietary environment that supports muscle preservation, cardiovascular health, and overall vitality in the years beyond 60. Before we close, I want to emphasize that small, consistent changes often have the greatest impact. You don't need to overhaul your entire pantry overnight. Start by swapping one processed meat for a serving of fish this week, or by adding a vegetable side to your dinner tomorrow. Each decision builds momentum, and soon the healthy choices become second nature. How will you take your first step toward a cleaner plate today? If the information we've covered resonates with you, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Share which protein you're most excited to incorporate, or ask any question about adapting the plan to your personal preferences or dietary restrictions. I'll be reading every comment and will respond to the first few with tailored suggestions. And as always, if you found value in this guide, consider giving the video a thumbs up. Your feedback signals to the algorithm that we're delivering the content you need, and it helps others discover these senior health tips. Don't forget to subscribe and click the notification bell so you won't miss the upcoming videos where we dive deeper into exercise routines that complement this nutrition plan, as well as strategies for managing stress and sleep, both essential pieces of the longevity puzzle. Your journey to a healthier, more energetic life after 60 starts on the plate, but it extends to every habit you nurture. Stay curious, stay kind to your body, and remember that each mindful bite is an investment in the years you have ahead. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode where we turn these meals into a simple, printable weekly planner you can hang on your fridge. Until then, eat well, move gently, and keep thriving.